If your spirituality cannot bring joy, peace, and happiness into your life today, what good is it? That's a question I often ask. Yet for many students of A Course in Miracles, the real question should be that if you do not understand what ACIM is saying, how do you expect to implement its principles into your life? You can't. And this is where this book, Decoding and Living A Course in Miracles, comes in. In this brief video, you'll learn about that guidebook. Hello, I'm Tom Wegchild, the best-selling author of A Course in Miracles for Dummies. I am also the author and facilitator for this new class called Decoding and Living A Course in Miracles, which is now available in book format. Also, to help you better understand all the materials found in this book, there are over 20 hours of supplemental audio files that you can access from our members area. Understanding the course doesn't have to be a struggle anymore. This book clarifies the core concepts of ACIM. It also covers and explains the first 60 workbook lessons. It is a practical how-to guide to improve your life today. Many longtime students have told me that this class and these materials were the best for unlocking the secrets of ACIM that they had ever taken. Newcomers have also expressed their gratitude for the clarity and simplicity that this class provided them in their own personal quest for spiritual growth. This manual has worked for them, and it can work for you. You do not have to spend years of struggle before you can reawaken to the truth of who you really are. You are entitled to allow either love or fear to flow into your life. It is your choice, but to choose love, you must first learn how to control, manage, and even eliminate fear from your life. You can do that. I know. I've been there. I've done that. And if I could do it, that means you can too. There is no difference between us, but there is a different way to run your life. Fear used to dominate my life, but now I know that fear is false evidence appearing real. You can exchange your fear-based thought system and allow love to flow into your life. You can choose another way. In the words of John Frank, Decoding and Living A Course in Miracles is amazing. Clear, succinct, and life-changing. This is a book that every course student needs to own. Check out the numerous testimonials below. Why will this 12-step program help you achieve that objective? Because this guidebook approaches A Course in Miracles in 3 separate and distinct ways. The first is what I call decoding. ACIM uses common terms in uncommon ways. Unless the student understands these unique definitions, they will be unable to comprehend what A Course in Miracles is trying to teach. The great philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein stated that most problems revolved around improper communication based on each person's different interpretation of what the same word means. ACIM's strange use of terminology is perhaps the major reason why so many students struggle with this course. Without a decoding manual, the reader tends to dismiss the text as gibberish or nonsensical. This class will give you that manual. If one chooses to call a cat by the letters D-O-G, it is still a cat. Yet to anyone lacking the decoding manual, the letters D-O-G will be misinterpreted. They don't understand the code. They will believe that they should see a dog, not the cat that is before them. Because of ACIM's special and unique definitions, the text often appears incomprehensible to the reader. Words are merely symbols for ideas. When two parties attempt to communicate yet lack common agreement on how words are to be defined, there will be a failure to communicate. This was the point Lichtenstein was trying to make about problems and communication. By adopting this study plan, you will be given the decoding manual. This manual removes the mystery by unlocking the secret code, the uniquely defined terminology of A Course in Miracles. Instead of being a mystery, ACIM now becomes a course that offers practical guidance on how to cope with this world of individualized perception and how to obtain inner peace. For example, ACIM defines the term real to be something that is changeless and eternal. Real is truth, and truth just is. Truth doesn't change. In our world of perception, which is the world of time and space, change is normal. This is because the world of perception is based on personal interpretation, not facts. Personal viewpoints are fluid and change over time. Therefore, in ACIM's unique terminology, the world of individualized perception is not real since it is subject to change. Only what God created as God created it is real, since that alone is changeless. Unless one realizes how ACIM defines real, the introductory paragraph which states, "Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God," will be dismissed as nonsensical and contradictory to everyday experiences. To most people, the body is real and the body can be threatened. People die every day, and yet for most of us, we believe in the continuation of our essence. It is this true essence that ACIM defines as real. The second distinct area that is covered by these materials is the overall core concepts of ACIM. These core concepts follow logically from understanding the terminology ACIM utilizes. The goal of the class is to help participants understand that the purpose of A Course in Miracles is to assist the student to change not the world, but rather how they choose to view their world. When you do this, your world of individual perception must realign to your new viewpoint. Your world of perception is an inside job. You call it into your awareness, and that's what you choose to experience. As strange as it may sound, there are no victims and there are no victimizers, only willing volunteers. The final area of focus is the transformation of the theoretical into the practical. Unless we can incorporate the seemingly esoteric principles of the Course into everyday usage, the study of ACIM would be an exercise in futility and mental gymnastics. ACIM should be a practical course. Since most people perceive that they are the body and the body is them, this is where we need to focus our attention upon. ACIM does not state that your world of individual perception should be ignored, however. Rather, it states that your world of perception needs to be reframed so that you can utilize it to assist your reawakening to the truth of who you really are. You came into this dimension because you wanted a specific experience that only this moment in time and space could provide. This is the living part of the manual. It is the practical side to implementing ACIM's principles into your daily life. In order to combine the theoretical with the experiential, personal exercises will be provided, and the first 60 workbook lessons of the course will be covered. This class focuses on you, and therefore it provides you with numerous personal exercises to assist you in uncovering the blocks that are impeding the flow of love into your daily lives. This will allow you to obtain a practical working knowledge of the course so that you can incorporate the course's teachings into your daily life today. This is why I started with this question. If your spirituality cannot bring joy, peace, and happiness into your life today, what good is it? It is no good. The materials presented in this book originally appeared as a 12-session live training class with numerous separate handouts. These materials have been compiled into a single-bound paperback workbook that you can purchase for convenient personal use. Additional audio and video support materials for this book and class can be found in our members area for this course. Registration is free. Each of the 12 sessions covers specific concepts in a logical order with an emphasis on terms and their special meaning as defined by the text itself. In each of these sessions or chapters, we're going to be covering the basic topic, but we're not going to just leave it with the problem. We're going to be providing solutions or different ways of viewing or interpreting events, a different paradigm, so that you can actually move from a fear-based thought system to a thought system that would be based on love and forgiveness and allowance. And so we're actually going to be providing solutions as we go through each one of these sections. I might say we're going to talk about, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to actually talk about solutions and not just uncover the problem. We need to be able to go beyond the problem to look at how we can solve those things, and that's what we're going to be doing in this course, to give you a new way of viewing your world and the logic and the reasoning behind that shift in perception. In session 1, we'll cover why people fail to understand A Course in Miracles. And a lot of this has to do with this idea of what is real, what is this world of perception. In the next session, we'll be trying to figure out how hell and a loving God could both exist, and why people find it hard to believe that God could only be love, as A Course in Miracles states. In session 3, Sharing in the Art of Projection, we'll talk about why your projections become your perceived reality. In session 4, we'll talk about how one error birthed a fear-based thought system that dominates our world. We'll talk about the Trinity, consciousness, and the dream of separation and what that means to how we define ourselves. In session 5, we'll actually take a look at logic and how logic reinforces erroneous thinking. We'll also take a look at these two thought systems, one based on fear, one based on love, and their different responses to authority. In session 6, we'll talk about how sin, guilt, and fear control our ego, and that this is an unholy alliance that is not your friend. In session 7, we'll talk about specialness and looking for love, and why love seems impossible to find, have, and hold. When you find it, it seems like we're in fear because we know that we're going to lose it, perhaps today, perhaps tomorrow, but sometime in the future. In Session 8, we'll talk about why the ego is a big judging machine and how we can regain control over it. The ideas of justice, discernment, and forgiveness are interrelated, and we'll discuss those and what we mean by those terms. Session 9 will get into the idea of healing, both on the physical level, the mind level, and the spirit. We'll talk about the healing and what the Course calls the atonement process and how those relate to our being here and the physicality of this world. In Session 10, we'll talk about why insanity rules the thought system of the ego. We'll look at the laws of chaos and why that being the foundation of the ego's thought system really does lead to the realization that the fear-based thought system is an insane one. We'll look at the idea of how choice comes into play and what we really mean by choice. In Session 11, we'll continue on this idea of choice and why reawakening is only one choice away, and how inside you there is a decision maker that must choose what thought system or what voice it's going to follow. Will it be the voice for fear or the voice for love? In Session 12, we'll talk about a new paradigm for change and how to make your world a reflection of you and the new you that you are becoming. And in that new way of viewing yourself, you will find that your world will realign to that new reality. ACIM states that we're all going to make it. But aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired? You deserve better. This is not God's will for you. This is your time to choose, to reawaken to the truth of who you really are. The now is the only time there is to choose again. So let's go on a journey of reawakening together. Enter your name and email now to register for this class. This class can help you just like it's helped so many others to take control of their own life experiences. This world can become your play school. It does not have to be a life and death struggle. So while we are learning to decode and implement the loving principles of A Course in Miracles into our lives, let's remember to have fun while we reawaken to the truth of who we really are. Let's not take ourselves too seriously, and let's remember to laugh. Enter your name and email now to register for this class, and I'll see you achieving the love, peace, and happiness that you seek and so richly deserve.